Okay, welcome back to AFI's Cover 7 podcast. We have a very special episode today featuring Isolopo and Oluwatobi from Nigeria's Uprise and Educational Basketball. They're going to be breaking down their intriguing prospects who are coming to London for the NFL International Combine. Daniel, I know you've been doing a lot of research on these prospects and you have a ton of questions for these two.
Yeah, absolutely amazing what these guys are doing in Nigeria. Obviously, it started with, I think OTU Manura started it with NFL Africa and the Ejeko Foundation. Last year, we saw Kahinde, Haggai, and Chuboy Roy at the NFL International Pathway Player Program. And they did a great job. They're wild scouts with their size, athleticism. So much so that they got picked up prior to the NFL IPP completing. And this year we have 12 guys coming from Uprise Educational Basketball. And Isolopo and Oluwatobi have been training those guys via Educational Basketball and Uprise. They work in tandem out of Lagos. Hand over to you guys. We kind of want to understand a bit about your journey to where you are now, how you got involved with the IPP prospects, and coming from maybe a basketball background, now transitioning to NFL, how the training maybe differed. Just tell us a bit about your journey.
Well, it's been a long one. We started educational basketball 7 years ago. It's been a very, very interesting journey. Started with training kids in the city, kids that like basketball. And we went through schools. We went through, all kinds of kids from different backgrounds. And so during that journey, we even sent a kid to the NBA Academy named Emmanuel Okorafor. And from there, we started to see that, there were certain types of kids who really, really needed our assistance with training and development. So we just kind of readjusted who we were targeting, and we just took it more from there. And as we did that, we found that many kids were very, very gifted and talented athletically. And it all culminated with this last year when we were connected with OC Umanyoria because we had an athlete named Sam Orji who was also at the NFL Africa camp. And we felt that he could play football. We were looking at Sam like, we need to get him into football. So it just so happened, we were doing some research on the internet and we connected with OC. It was amazing. And then from there, we just took off.
So what, do you just slid in OC's DMs, or how did the connection happen?
Yeah. Pretty much. Yes.
Pretty much. Love that.
Yes.
Awesome. So what are your backgrounds then? I mean, obviously, I'm sure you were involved in basketball from a young age then. Maybe you played, or how did that go from maybe young adults or kids into training prospects for the NBA or the NFL?
Well, we started playing basketball we really started playing basketball in Texas, just in the neighborhood. And we fell in love with it. It was just such a free game and we felt it was awesome. You had a lot of control. So we played in high school, at Lamar High School. My brother played at Bel Air High School. And we were also trained by Coach John Lucas, who was also with the Houston Rockets as a developmental coach. And we also did the AAU circuit. And we also trained in many other, coaches. There's even a coach named Will Holland, who's at, I believe, was recently at Mount St. Mary's, who we trained with, things like that of that nature. So we learned a lot basketball-wise, and particularly with Coach Lucas. And even during our time there, we got to see how a developmental program was run. We got to see how do you train, how do you, take care of kids physically, how do you help them out with anything that's going on. So at some point, we just decided, we just relocated to here. And we just got this thing rolling literally within a week of getting here.
Wow. How long ago was that?
2015, November.
Okay, yeah, you've really taken massive strides since then. Congratulations. So you guys grew up in Texas, but I guess your roots lay in Nigeria?
Well, we're British.
I'm saying, where about in the UK are you from, or grew up?
Oh, we're from London.
Where about in London?
We used to live in Harrow.
So I guess you guys followed a similar path to OC Manura then. I get like OC grew up in the UK briefly before moving to America, learning his trade, i.e. the NFL. You guys learned basketball, and now you're both taking your trades back to Nigeria. Why do you think there is that draw back to Nigeria? Why do you think people are going back there to find talent or develop talent or so
on? It just seems like the time for Africa and Nigeria is now. There's just kind of been like a generational shift where everybody wants to come to Nigeria and make something happen. You know, if you look at Afro beats around the world, like everybody loves Afro beats all of a sudden, like, and that just came out of nowhere. So, I mean, for us, when we came 7 years ago, there was nothing here, nothing was happening. And then it was just like, let's see how we can get back to the community. So we started educational basketball. And then, like, you know, all of our friends in the US are like, yo, come back to America. You don't need to be over there, yada, yada, yada. But we're just like, we feel like something good's going to happen here. So, I mean, when you fast forward to now, everybody loves everything coming out of Africa and Nigeria, the fashion, the Ankara stuff. So it just seems like, and if you look at the NBA, you got guys who are coming straight from Africa, who have ties to Africa, and the NFL as well. So it just seems that now is just the time for Nigeria and Africa to flourish.
So going back to the athletes, how many athletes are you currently training? Yeah.
We had seven of the guys that wanted to do the IPP journey, and we had two who are now at the NFL Academy.
Oh, you had guys who went to NFL Academy too?
Yes, yeah, we got two. And those two are special, man. They're very special. Emmanuel Okoye and Clinton Azubuki. 6'9". Emmanuel's 6'9". Sorry, Clinton is 6'9". Emmanuel is about 6'6", 6'5", 6'6".
Wow. So they've gone up to Loughborough.
Yeah, they're there. Yeah, you should go ahead and check them out. You'll be impressed. Just be on the lookout for them. They're gonna impress for sure. No worries or concerns about them at
all. What are some of the challenges developing talent or finding talent in Nigeria or playing sport in general in Nigeria?
Well, the US has everything in place in the school system. The US has it pretty down packed very, very well. And it's just so seamless, you know, to navigate through whatever sport you want to play and find your own niche. And then also during the summertime, they have organized leagues for kids, whether it's AAU basketball, AAU volleyball, football kids play flag football, soccer kids, you know, well, soccer is growing in America, but soccer kids still can go play soccer. And of course there's baseball, but out here, there's no serious foundation for that. I mean, you know, so even in England, we wouldn't say England is like America at all. America has it really down packed in terms of giving the youth opportunities to actually travel through that pathway and just get wherever they want to get to or aspire to get to. And also there are no facilities here. Yeah. Like, you know, there's no like real football field that we can just go and use. We have to use a park to train, which is fine. And, you know, even when it comes to basketball, we have to use the outdoor court because we can't get an indoor court. There aren't any. So those are the main challenges. There's no infrastructure. There's nothing built for the guys to really go through a system and develop. But we're trying our best to make something happen in that area, though.
Awesome. Do you feel like that your services are being pulled more towards American football or basketball or equally? And do you feel like the talent that you guys are searching for is the same? Is it just athletic guys, or when you're looking for a future NFL player, is it something different to a future NBA player?
Yeah, with a future NFL player, we're definitely looking for fast twitch, power, explosiveness, flexibility, good core strength, ability to accelerate, decelerate, jump well off either leg. That's what we're really looking for. But when it comes to like basketball athletes, it's kind of so for us, you know, we found that there are basketball players who are good, but they'll be better at American football if they get the right teaching. So it's kind of just like, you can just look at a guy and be like, you're 6'5", you're kind of playing power forward in basketball. Well, if you're 6'5", moving your body like that, you'll be a good D end. So it's kind of just like, if he's doing this on the basketball court, I think he'll be better at this on the football court. So that's kind of what's happened with all these guys. So
you feel like part of your job then is to kind of filter guys and say, actually, you might be better placed in basketball, or you might be better placed in football, and so on.
Yeah, exactly. I think Chu Godric would be a good example of that. I think Chu could have been a really good basketball player. He has a wide lower body frame, so he could obviously, and you can tell he has the ability to have good footwork and be able to pass the ball and know what he's doing on the court. But obviously with football, Chu is just like, a serious prospect with football, with American football. It's just great footwork, great power. When you see him, you'll know. So, Chu is Jason, by the way. Jason. We call him Chu, but he's Jason. Okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing a bit of research. We're researching all the guys and trying to reach out to them and get a bit about their background and so on before the. We want to release a series of articles before the combine on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, Alex.
Yeah. So since you guys touched on Chu, what makes you confident in? You're sending a large group of guys to London. What makes you confident in the guys that you're sending? What are some things that people can look for when they're at the combine, seeing your guys perform?
Well, obviously they're going to stand out from a physical standpoint. I mean, they all look the part, but when you put them through the drills, they're gonna perform well. I mean, we wish that they were able to compete in the drills, like line up and match up. That's when they'll really stand out. But obviously, it's going to be the 5, 10, 5, 40-yard dash and all of that. So those are areas that they actually do well in. So that's just how it is for us.
Was there a request, I guess, or I don't know, because all the guys you're sending are large men, very large men.
Yeah.
And obviously there are smaller athletes in Nigeria. Of course there are, the same way there are in every country. Why did you guys lean towards those bigger bodies?
Well, they just move. They're different. Like, they're just those kinds of elite athletes that you want. We know that they definitely would have excelled well in Division I football. Like, they would have been big time players on those fields. So and even in a sport like rugby, they would have just, the explosiveness and the things they could do would have just stood out immediately. So we had plenty of trials over the year, and we were able to do a lot of recruiting and a lot of scouting. And these guys are the ones that have stood out the most consistently throughout the whole process. But there is one who is 6 feet. So, I mean, they're not all 6'5" and up. Emmanuel.
Oh, yes. Emmanuel.
He's 6 feet.
Is it? Yeah. Emmanuel 6'1"?
All right, he's going to tell you 6'1". He's like 6 feet and a half. But it's fine. I mean, he jumps the highest. He's the fastest. He jumps the highest. And he's the most athletic. So, I mean, if you're good, you're going to get the opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. So how many trials did you have over the course of a year?
Oh, we had a lot. Man. There were times where we have like maybe 2 times a month because, there are too many people in Nigeria. Like, you can be in your car literally and like you can look out of your window and be like, wow, this dude is like an athlete. Yeah. Pull over, have a conversation, and they come. So, I mean, we'll have like up to maybe 15 new guys every 2 weeks coming in for trials. And it was just, it's been a blessing. It's a lot of fun as well.
Awesome. What do you think the future holds for sport in Nigeria and more NFL in Nigeria? What do you think the future holds?
Oh, man, I think Nigeria's got next when it comes to football, with sports in general, but I think football is going to be very significant. American football is going to be very significant in Nigerian sports.
The NFL Africa campaign in Ghana, what was that like for you guys to be able to showcase your athletes in front of NFL players, NFL legends, NFL films? I mean, what was it like to have the NFL's support in Ghana for that event?
Man, that was really a blessing. It was the first time that a lot of guys had actually left the country. So, for them to go to Ghana and to meet Maurice Jones-Drew even OC again himself and all these other guys, the current football players. It was just great for them, you know. It was a good experience, and we actually sent we sent 12 guys there to the combine to Ghana, and they picked 9 of them. They picked 9 of them from our program. So, I mean, it was just great.
Awesome. What has OC done for young athletes and prospects in Nigeria and West Africa in general?
He's transformed the game in terms of, you know, helping to give people opportunities and give people hope in terms of, you know, aspiring to do this thing for sure. The Uprise Academy is definitely, and camps are giving people a new lane to look forward to, and something to prepare for year round. OC is the type of person that will give a lot of people a chance just like that. Like he's not gonna hold back and say this or that. He doesn't really discriminate. We saw it in Abuja. There were guys that just came out of nowhere, and he wanted to see them as well. So yeah, I'd say that OC's been a blessing. You know, the fact that he decided to come up with something like the Uprise Academy and the Uprise camps, you know, it gives hope to the young guys that, you know, something is coming. A year ago, we didn't know a lot of these guys, you know, so now we're all a brotherhood, we're a family. So he's been a blessing to everybody.
Thank you guys for joining us. We can't wait to see your athletes perform in London, and we'll make sure to write a great review on them and the combine in general. It's great to hear the insights of you guys training the next generation of athletes in Nigeria. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Yeah, thank you, man. We appreciate it.